Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Big Wavy Roy Johnson here.
This is the professional Nathan Cruz.
Yo, this is Man Like Doris.
Hi, this is Tom Thurber.
This is Benji.
This is the Asian sensation Kanji.
This is the Nightmare Fuel Hassan Malone.
This is Joe Rage, the heavyweight classic.
This is Mad Dog O'Doherty.
This is Tonga.
I'm the Breaker, Carl Kingsley.
This is the infamous Cameron Solis, and you're listening
You're listening to
Broken but Glorious.
Broken but Glorious.
To Broken but Glorious podcast, because like me, you are head to toe a pro.
Hello and welcome to my Brit Rest Journey. I'm Chris Laffin. I'm delighted to be joined on the line by Garrett, G-WIZ Bond. How you doing this evening, Garrett?
Hey, I'm very well. I'm very good. How's things your end?
I'm really good. That's it. I apologise to the listeners if my voice goes. I was at WWE Live last night and we were singing Seth's song and Nakamura's song. And if I twinge, I got whiplash from the weekend. As always, I burst of blood vessel in my right eye, so don't start winking at you. So I'm trying to focus on the questions. So, yeah. Plus, full of hay fever. So, yeah, it's great. Yeah, huge thanks for joining me. Yeah, I've been a big fan of yours for a couple of years. But, yeah, I thought you in the Sovereign was like, yeah, it's one of my favourite factions, and I wish you'd see it more often. I just haven't seen it for a while.
It was really good to be part of it, you know, with those guys. It was a good faction. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's just an old school. Yeah, because like you and Dave, Del Vecchio and Mark.
Yeah.
Sheik
as well. Yeah.
It's just it's just on the face of it, you go, good thing to put these guys together, but it just worked.
Yeah,
really
even
good.
like I think aesthetically, it was four dominating guys, wasn't it? You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, huge. Yeah.
So even if people didn't really like us, it was like, yeah, we might not like them, but they can do some stuff. So,
yeah, especially over the Pro Wrestling for You roster, which wasn't the tallest roster. So having you four really tall guys, you just looked.
Yeah, it was only Big T that really dwarfed us. He dwarfs everyone, doesn't he? So
he's just a bit. Yeah. I think he's back in us. I thought now.
Yeah, he had a little hiatus, didn't he? And but I think he's back, and yeah, you can't miss him at any show. So it's good to see him back. It was always good working with him as well, you know.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. Yeah, he's really good for such a big guy. He's great character as well as his little judge and his hammer.
Yeah,
I really love it.
Big hands for chopping as well. Very big.
Yeah. So I've noticed from your social media, you've not done a lot of wrestling this year. You've got more into your jiu-jitsu and stuff.
Yeah. So I sort of certainly not took a break intentionally or that, but I just wanted, and it started really with my lad. My lad's 5 years old, and I started taking him Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I thought it'd be good for him to learn a discipline, and you know, I'm taking him along, I'm watching him, and I'm thinking, I wouldn't mind getting involved with some of this legit stuff. So then, I just ended up getting involved and joining as well. And really, it was that whole I want to test myself against some good legit competition. And so I've just been so focused on that the past sort of 6 months nearly now that it did sort of take me away from the wrestling scene a bit. But at the same time, I'm quite excited about what that means for the future because it's nice sometimes to, having done it so long for, like, particularly with House of Pain and PW for you know, where every month or whatnot doing plenty of shows and stuff, it's almost been quite nice to step away for a bit and be excited about the return and the sort of changes that can come with that. I mean, from PW for you, I'm very much the heel side of things, but House of Pain is a different story, you know. So the ability to change sides is quite exciting.
Yeah, that's kind of how I got into wrestling training as well. My son went, and they had an odd number of people, so they kind of just dragged me into training as well. And it's like, I loved it. But yeah, I've lost I was about 17 and a half stone like 18 months ago, so I got tired going up the stairs, so I was at least shat.
And so have you found that you've since wrestling, you've kind of just, your fitness has improved? And
definitely.
Like,
I'm 14 stone 9 now. So
That's a big difference, right? Yeah, that's a
18
huge
months.
difference.
Yeah.
That running the ropes will do it for you, won't it? I think that's the thing people underestimate is the cardio side of it. It's huge.
Yeah. Sean Ainley, our trainer, he said he saw huge improvements in the last 6 months of the training. But I'm thinking it's because I got fitter. Because I used to get so knackered. I was so knackered after the warm up. I just couldn't take anything in. But you know, trying to see just.
But it gives you that whole new respect. And when you see some of these guys going for these like Ironman matches and whatnot, and you think, you know, and it's not just fitness; it's disorientation of rolling and moving and stuff. It's a whole thing that I think once people experience it, and you've been there, you know, once I've been there, certainly once you start training, you realise, okay, it's not a walk in the park by any means. So it's a good experience and one of them sort of memorable ones. Whether someone sticks it out for long term or not, you know, there's kind of a new respect there for it.
Yeah, there's been like a core of us since I've been there, but there has been quite a turnover. People just come for a couple of weeks, then they must be going like, I can't do this. But, but I was determined. Just at the beginning, it was I just want to not embarrass myself in front of all these young guys because I was 40 when I started. so just keeping up with them, that was the plan from the beginning. But I'm really enjoying it.
No, mate, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I've got some singlets. I'm hoping to maybe get. They're starting trainee shows in November, I think. So, I just need to improve my back bumps apparently, and then I can maybe move up to the advanced class.
Yeah. But the thing is, them back bumps, they're key. You know, it's gonna be part of it. And once you start taking them, and it's funny because like when I started, the advice I got is now the advice I give. And at the time, I just think, I just want to get in there. I want to bump and I want to do this and this. And then you start going, actually, let's be sensible about this because them bumps do take their toll.
Let's say I can take a suplex and I take a body slam. I can do, but if you just tell me to throw my back, I think something in my brain.
You almost need someone to just.
But I love it.
Well, hopefully that's why with the jiu-jitsu, I want to sort of bring that element to it as well. You know, bring that part of the game to it because there's a lot of amateur wrestling involved in it. You know, with takedowns and things like this and shooting in and. I think that why I've really enjoyed it is because it's been like learning from fresh again. There's so much. It's like piecing a puzzle together, you know, and your brain's going. And when you're competing and doing competitions and you essentially it's like sort of not fighting for your life in that sense, but, you know, it's you or them. And you've got someone putting the pressure on you whilst you're trying to think, okay, I need to be in this position or that position. So I'm just really excited for what that can bring to the pro wrestling game. So.
Have you thought of like maybe slightly tweaking your character because of the jiu-jitsu or
particularly if it's heel orientated. If I'm like particularly with that because I think it lends itself to that more than babyface. I think unless you're maybe a cruiserweight, flashy with the finishes and stuff like that, but I'm not a cruiserweight, you know. But I think as a heel and a bigger guy doing that, then and I guess if I was to liken it to someone now almost. I mean, like carrying cross and what's he called it? The cross jacket is finished is rear naked choke, really.
Yeah.
But if he was to legit put that on, he'd legit go to sleep. So it's a good sort of worthy finishing move for someone his size, you know. So
and it's not a common thing for people his size to have a submission. It's usually some type of power move or So yeah, they need to start doing something with carrying cross. I really like it. I really like it. Everywhere I've been, I've really liked them. But there's always everyone seems to throw them straight into the main event scene and then don't know what to do with them once he's up there. So it's like Impact, they just threw him in there, and NXT they threw him straight there. MLW just threw him straight up there. But WWE just don't seem to know what to do with him because they don't want to put him in the main event scene because he's Roman Reigns.
And I do think he's got well, that's it. That's it. It's timing and stuff, isn't it? You don't want to feed him to the wolves and let him get beaten all the time. But it's it's a tough one, especially when he came in. I guess it was the whole like Drew scenario as well. And Drew's a big guy, so it's not. There was a lot of of options, but like I say, it's just they didn't know really, or don't know what to do with him as such. So I'm sure he'll get his moment though.
Yeah, definitely. I guess that, yeah, we could throw him into the. It's like him, Lashley, Sheamus, around them
Yeah.
four, trying to just see who's the biggest and the baddest on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah. Well, even to be honest,
about the title.
you could almost throw all them guys into the Intercontinental title, and the credibility of that title has always been credible, but suddenly it's not just about the heavyweight. Like, people are heavily invested in the Intercontinental, because these are still like, these are main eventers like Sheamus. I mean, just can't put a foot wrong, can he?
Well, yeah, Sheamus, Drew, and Gunther.
Yeah,
WrestleMania, I think, was probably the best WWE match of this year, probably so far.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Definitely. Cool. So let's give away your age. So who's your favourite wrestler growing up?
So mine was definitely at the start, like as in Bret Hart was my early favourite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then Stone Cold was like, I mean, he was just a man. So that whole era. So Bret Hart was the gimmick. Like, I just bought into that, you know. I was just the glasses and everything. So Bret Hart was always, I just thought he was so cool. But then Stone Cold, when he came on the scene, it was just a whole nother level. He was always my guy then, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Bret was great in like the 92 to 97 when he left. This was just built the whole place around him.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up with. I went back and watched the Attitude Era, but I didn't watch it at the time, because that was when I was getting to like 17, 18. I stayed in Friday nights to watch wrestling. It's not cool. So
yeah.
So, used to watch a hungover on a Sunday morning. That's bad.
Well, and it was even back then, you know, like, I didn't have Sky or anything, you know, so we had to go to my mate's house, or pay-per-view, someone had recorded it on video, and then we'd go and watch it and that, you know. So even that was just harder to consume it then, whereas now you can consume it as and when, and there's a whole lot more of it too. So.
Yeah, my parents wouldn't pay for a pay-per-view. We'd have to wait for it to come out on video and get it from video shop.
Yeah, I think that's what I did with Bad Blood. You remember the Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels and Undertaker? I had that on video. I always, like, even now, it's like one of my fond ones, just because there was like the midget wrestling, there was Max Mini and stuff like this, and there was like, I just remember that whole pay-per-view because I just watch it over and over and over, you know. I think my first like wrestling videos was WrestleMania 1 and 2 that my dad had got me. And stuff like that. So yeah, it was, like I say, it was just waiting for stuff to come out back then. Even merch, you know, I remember ordering merch, but you had to order it from America. So it might be like 4 or 5 weeks.
Back of the magazine. You'd have to
it was like, you know, it's just crazy. Like, but you do it, you know, that was it. So.
Yeah, I've still got my DX shirt from like the
the
really late 90s.
Like hockey one, the big black one with the green. Yeah.
Emerson wears it now, so it doesn't fit me anymore. It's like must be 22, 23 years old.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, what prompted you to don the tights to get in the ring yourself?
Say that again.
So what prompted you to don the tights to get in the ring yourself?
Do you know what it was? Like, categorically, I didn't even consider it at all. But in 2014, my dad got put in the British Wrestling Hall of Fame. So Dad was back in the sort of Giant Haystacks, Big Daddy era, Mick McManus and all that. So Dave Bond, part of the Caribbean Sunshine Boys with Johnny Kincaid. So he got, and he passed away in 2012. So they posthumously put him in the Hall of Fame in 2014. So me and my older and my younger brother went down to sort of collect it for him and be there, and obviously met a lot of wrestlers, and they were like, most of them were like, oh, so do any of you boys wrestle? And I hadn't even really thought about it, but I was like, why don't I do this? Like, I love wrestling. And out of the three of us, I was the one that sort of loved wrestling and was into it and stuff. And so literally I came back to Nottingham and I thought, I'll have a little look, and thought, there's a school around, I'll just go and have a look at it. And that was it, really. Like, that following week had gone down to the school and then never looked back, you know. So it was a bit of a random one. It was a bit of an impulse one. Didn't give it any great thought, as in like, didn't think I want to be a wrestler as such, you know. I just thought I'd look into it, and Yeah, it's almost one of them ones that it's a bit of a shame that my dad never got to see that side of it. But then if he was still around, I probably wouldn't have ever got into it. So it's a catch-22 in that sense anyway, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Was Sticks the trainer back then?
Yeah, so Sticks. And I always tell the story to some of the lads, like when I went down, Sticks wasn't there at the time. Like, and I'd been messaging him about coming down, and one of the lads was taking the warm-up. And when I saw him, I won't name him, but I saw him and I just thought, what the bloody hell have I got? Like, who's this guy? And then Sticks walked in, and I was like, this must be the main man. Sticks in the imposing go. You know, he looks like a wrestler. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, there we go. Now I feel safe. And yeah.
What was the first training session like? I was like, it's like do a forward roll. I was like, I don't think I've done a forward roll for 30 years. It's like do a back roll. I was like, I don't think I've ever done a back roll.
Yeah, starting with the warm up and stuff, and kind of doing that. And I was at that stage. I was into my fitness already. And I work in the fitness industry for my day job, so fitness has never been that bad for me. But then, like you say, you know, there's so many little things you do, and you do these drills and stuff. And I think at the end of it, to be like, I felt comfortable as in everything we was doing. And I don't mean I was doing it perfectly or anything, but everything we was doing, I could do, you know, so I didn't feel too out of place. And maybe it is, but I was a bit older than a lot of them. Probably a little bit fitter than a lot of them as well, you know. But even I remember, I'll say it's the first session. It was one of the first or second. And I remember people like learning suplexes. And I don't think I've done one yet, but Joe Connors was down there. And I remember this lad couldn't do it. And Joe's just gone up and been like, right, this is what you need to do, and showed him. And I just watched him, and he just done it, and he made it look so crisp. And, you know, he just go, so that's like how we have to do it. And then it's just little things like that. I was fortunate to have like good caliber people around. Obviously Sticks as a coach, and then people like Joe and Gabe and things like this.
I did a seminar with Joseph Connors a couple of months ago, and he's amazing.
Yeah, there's not many as passionate, I don't think, about the wrestling industry as him. You know, from a work ethic and a mind salt of it. He's very he's just he just sort of breathes it. You know.
Yeah, I did a handstand in his class. I've never done a handstand in my whole life, and he somehow got me to do one.
Yeah, he's got away with that. He's got away with it. So he's certainly someone that a lot of people can learn from. So
yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, he showed us all these weird and wonderful pins to do on each other, which was a lot of fun. So, it was so much fun. So was like Bret Hart, Stone Cold, who like was a more just style around when you started training, or was it?
Like, to be honest, I never even from like watching them, like even what I do is nothing based off of them. Like I don't it's not like I go, I want to be a Stone Cold, I want to be a Bret Hart, or taking that. I just really bought into their characters, and I guess that's what wrestling is and was, right? Storytelling. And I just thought, just kind of, and I think I was at the age of Bret Hart where it was just a cool guy, just that side. Whereas Stone Cold, it was more probably like the whole rebellion side of it, and the Vince McMahon story and stuff like this. That was always just like the hook. And even you got Stone Cold versus The Rock, like the charisma in there is just, I think they was all lucky. Like a lot of those guys were lucky that they had each other to bounce off. You know, whether it was Undertaker or Kane, even. I mean, probably Kane's my favourite debut of all time, I'd say. You know?
I loved him so many years.
And back in that time, like whenever he was in the ring, I just thought he was legit, just like a scary dude. Like how big was he? Like in his prime, he just had that aura about him that you just think you wouldn't want to meet him down a dark alley. You know, if you walk past him, you'd brick it. So So I just think with Bret and Stone Cold, I just love the gimmicks of it and the character of it.
Their feud in '96, against early '97.
Yeah.
Not the best feuds of all time, but their match at 13, and then was it the following SummerSlam? Two of the best matches of the '90s, I reckon.
Well, you've got Bret, who's just a class wrestler, isn't he? And Stone Cold, who's not that he's not a class wrestler, but just can work a crowd. Like, just read. You can imagine him being one of these guys that just wouldn't need to talk too much before it. He could just go out there and he'd read the room and get it right.
Mm-hmm. I love the build of Stone Cold, because the way WWE tell it now is he won the King of the Ring, and then he went. But that wasn't happening. He won the King of the Ring. The next show, he's on the pre-show. So,
yeah.
And then there's just little bits they added, and then by the end of '96, he got the Stone Cold character. Like he'd add the jacket one week, but then he tried putting sparkly things on the jacket, and then it only last 1 week because it looked crap. And then they gave him the music, and then a couple of weeks later they'll add the glass sound. And so watch it. Yeah, but the way he's telling it now is he won the King of the Ring, and then he became the best wrestler.
Yeah.
And everyone at the time, no, if you were there at the time, that wasn't how it happened. So, didn't really
it's a nice story to tell. It's a nice story to tell.
Did you have an idea of a character you wanted to? What? How's the gimmicks?
Probably not really. Certainly not at the start, because I didn't know what I was getting into. Really, like, if I'm honest, there was so much to learn and stuff. But then, I mean, the sort of G-WIZ character has been essentially the same from the start. You know, like the glasses, the hair, and even that, I just wanted something that would. And again, I mean, the glasses is a direct Bret Hart ripoff, right? Essentially, complete different glasses, but. He had his glasses, he'd give them to a kid in the crowd. I have my glasses, I give them to a kid in the crowd. So it's them little things that you kind of take with it. Except at PW4U, where I don't give them to a kid at the crowd. But yeah, so there was things like that I probably, even subliminally at the time, was taking from them. But I wanted to have that sort of thing, and watching shows, you know, and even thinking, and not from, I don't say this from a business mind in the sense of, financially and selling stuff, but you know, having a gimmick, having merch, and having something that you can sell rather than just 6x9s. I was like, them glasses, I'm like, I can get them, I can sell them, and kids will buy them, and they're like, whether they like me or not, the glasses are kind of cool on their own. Like, it's nothing G-WIZ about. So a kid can hate me but still go, actually, but I wear them glasses anyway. So it was just little things like that where I kind of wanted to have my own sort of little merch ideas and stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Did you ever get like approached to maybe do like the son of your dad type of gimmick, or?
Not so much the gimmicks. My first outside booking was for All Star Wrestling. It was in Hanley, Stoke. So it was in Stoke, and that really came about because Brian, he used to book my dad, you know. So he was just like, so they was and Sticks sorted all that really, because he was as soon as he knew about me and my dad, he was on forums going, right, who knows what about this guy. So he was sort of putting the feelers out. Was he a good worker? Was he like I'm getting all that? So then he obviously was pushing my name out there, because again, Sticks being a fan of wrestling was just like, there's a story. We got like, how many second generation wrestlers, Brit wrestlers do we get? There's not loads of them. Certainly not that did it like when my dad was doing it on TV every Saturday with like everyone watching. So it was, I mean, it was huge back then, right? So it was a big one. So yeah, so I think him putting that out there as well really helped sort of push my name out there a bit. And there's so many times when I've gone to shows and there's been maybe some older wrestlers on there or whatnot, and they've all got stories to tell of my dad and stuff. And yeah, so it's one of them ones where not necessarily the direct gimmick as such, but certainly even maybe behind the scenes there's that element there too, you know. So yeah,
some of my earliest memories are watching World of Sport with my gran.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was World of Sport, and then the A-Team was on after the World of Sport. That's what I've got I used to love it. And when it came back, do you remember the wrestling channel in the early 2000s?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, they used to have all the World of Sport on the afternoon. I used to love watching it.
Well, even now, I get like on Facebook every now and then, someone will just pop up on my sort of gimmick page, and they'd be like sharing a link of, I found this video of your dad, and it's a match I've not seen, you know, and it's kind of like humbling how well he did, you know, and how how successful he was. And even when he passed away, like William Regal tweeted about it and like saying, "Oh, like lovely bloke and great wrestler," type of thing. And like I looked at that and I'm like, that's William Regal. Like I grew up watching him as well, you know. So it's like, but all of this stuff, like my dad was never like, he was always humble. But like he didn't sort of tell me, it wasn't like, "Oh yeah, I know so and so, I know so and so," you know. And it's stories that other people tell me that I can corroborate and go. Like even like Kamala, he had a match when he was the Mississippi Mauler, so he wrestled Kamala, who then wrestled Undertaker, and you just go, it like just never came up in discussion because ultimately it was just dad, you know. Like I remember a fan coming round to his house and my dad was like, "Oh look, I'll give you some wrestling boots and some trunks," because he was like a legit old school fan. So my dad's giving him like some wrestling gear and stuff, and then he gives it to him, and I'm like, I would have had that, but you don't ask because it's dad. So it's a funny one. Like in hindsight now, I would have just like lapped it all up and asked all the questions, but at the time it just wasn't a big deal, you know. I probably didn't see how big it was on the outside as well, you know, how big. Like I say, that there's plenty of people like my friends' dads that say, "Yeah, I used to watch your dad wrestle at Gravesend and stuff like this." So but you just don't know any of that. So
where did the moniker G-WIZ come from?
you know what? That has been with me since I was about 17. I studied music at college, and I don't know. I feel like it was probably us, like me and my mates, coming up with like, and we wasn't like, I was a bit of a metalhead. I still am. Like, but it was almost like us coming up with our little names then, like, you know, if we was rappers and stuff like this, and whatever name we have. And because of the G, like, I mean, there's been variations of G, you know, like. And G-WIZ just seemed to sort of stick. And so since I was about 17, and that's one of the things Sticks was saying, you know, when we started, was like, you know, if you've already got something, then it makes sense to run with that as well. If it's already like organic and natural, then you can incorporate that. So I didn't necessarily have to come up with a nick something else. It was because that's a nickname in itself, you know, G-WIZ, and little things like, you know, and again, this is all Sticks' knowledge, but like the whole something that's easy for the fans to chant, you know, it's 2 syllables, G-WIZ. It's little things like that make it like a whole lot easier to resonate with a crowd.
Definitely.
So yeah.
Said that with RP Davis. He's become RPD because just heard.
Yeah,
RVD. It sounds like RVD, so everyone's like RV.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So just being Ryan Davis, he's RP Davis, and then so it's turned into RPD now. So it's like,
but even that happens organically, and therefore, although you could argue, "Oh, it's a rip-off of RVD," but because it's organic how it happens, it doesn't sound like a rip-off when you're there. You don't go, "Oh, we're just chanting RVD." No, he's got his own gimmick. He's got his own thing. So yeah,
it's amazing. Cool. And take us back to your first show. So, what do you remember about? In hindsight, was the match any good? Have you gone back and watched it?
You know what? And you get different reactions from different people. Like, because I have not gone back and watched it. Like, I don't know when I last watched it. Like, I maybe watched it at the time, but then the key things, and you're going to get to go through it as well. Is it goes so quick? Like, you feel like you're out there. Yeah, in the ring, on the apron or whatnot, and then it's done. And you just wish you could have had like another 10 minutes because you're just adrenaline is buzzing. But my first match was a tag match, and there was, and all of us guys were, we was all new. We was all making our debut. So there's a tag match, 4 new guys, and I remember some of the spots that were certainly blown and. Not blown, but I just remember. So I remember someone doing like he was like striking me, but he was missing by like a landslide. And I'm just like, you know, you've kind of drilled it in. I'm like, I'm not moving for that. Like, I'm like, hit me. And but no,
you're in 2 minds, are you? Do I sell this?
Yeah.
Do I look like an idiot for not getting
we
punched?
both look like idiots. But it was still, you've got to have that first one at some point, and it was still like, even with that, you know, again, like you said, like in hindsight, I look back and I would be like, oh, cringe, but at the time, like, I was buzzing, you know, couldn't wait to be back out there again. So although there was a few things like that, but it's just everything, you know, and you're sort of going through it as well, you know, when you bump and feed, like your ring positioning, all of this type of stuff. And I never forget, like Gabriel Kidd saying to me, you know, like when you go out there, just relax, like relax, like, and just know that you've got it, because then you're floating around the ring a bit more comfortable. You're not thinking, like, what's the next spot and tensing up and all of this. And it's so much easier said than done. And it does come, I guess, with experience. But it's yeah, that first match had a bit of everything, in the sense of next, am I going to forget everything, you know, walking out there. But yeah, it was so good. It was in St Anne's. It was in Nottingham, a place called St Anne's, and that's where all the sort of debuts tend to be. So the crowd are forgiving, and give you a good bit of support either way, you know, which helps, because you don't want your debut being on a high level show. And then after, like, or you go out there after someone who's just smashed it, and then you don't really know what you're doing.
It's like I felt sorry for the women's title match at all. At the AEW, like the Forbidden Door, after getting after Kenny Osprey.
Yeah, that's a
match. I was like, I felt sorry for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I'm really excited to, because I'm buzzing after doing just a little 5-minute training match. So when it was, I think I'll be so, because I don't know, it's something I don't think I could have done like 2 years ago, because I was an anxiety-riddled mess a couple of years ago, and I had to take a couple of months off work, and that's when I started getting into shape and stuff, and got put on some decent tablets. But I think through the wrestling, it's kind of improved my confidence that much that I think I could get up in front of a crowd and do some public speaking.
And you will, and you won't. And as soon as you're out that curtain, nothing else will exist. Like, nothing else will exist. You won't be panicking. You won't be thinking anything. You'll be buzzing, and yeah. But and it is. It's exactly like Gabe said. You know, relax. It's easier said than done. We've all got to have that first match. But you're like, what I say about it flying, you'll have the exact same experience. You know, like, everyone seems to. Everyone does.
Yeah, we've done one little spot on the show where we went out we did the raffle, and then the big baddie group came out and tried to get us to join their group.
Yeah.
I got to do 10 punches on one of them in the corner. And my son got to do a tilt the world DDT on one of them.
Oh, nice.
Then we were cheering. Yeah, I got to cheer, and then their big monster came out and started choking me. I was like, come on. The client has come out and save me. I was like, come on, you meant to come out and save me. I was there for ages. And the guy who was in the main event was running late, so we had to add a couple of minutes to our set. So I literally went round and high-fived every child.
Yeah. Keep stalling.
Yeah, but such a buzz. Yeah, and yeah. So it's like, what are we going to do when we go through the curtain? And I was like, I don't know. I'll just do what you feel. So I just went, yeah. I really thought about it. But yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, but back then, I think I would have thought I could have had a match, but the more I've learned, the less
Glad you didn't.
the less ready I feel for a match, because you don't know what you don't know. So it's like,
yeah.
But I think I could do like a tag match now, or a rumble or something. So
yeah,
I don't reckon I could put a competent singles match yet. I think.
It would just depend on your opponent and their style. You know, if you're going back and forth, or if they're also more starting out. But if you've got a veteran or someone who's done it a while, and they're heel, and you can just do your little shine and get a bit of heat, and then do something at the end, then you'll be fine. You know.
Yeah, definitely. So you said you're looking to get back into training. Are you looking to get back into the ring this year? Or?
Yeah, 100%. I was gonna be at training tonight, and I messaged you and said, could we make it later, because my plan was to be at House of Pain and train tonight, but sciatic nerve twinged on I think I did a Tough Mudder on a Saturday, a 15k Tough Mudder, and I think I've got a big old bruise on my leg, so I think I must have bashed it somewhere. I don't remember where or anything. I didn't feel it at the time, but yeah, for the past day and a half has been hard work walking, so there's no chance to get to training tonight. But which is why it worked out we could do this a bit early, which was good. But yeah, so the plan is definitely to get back to it, and particularly with House of Pain. I've got a young family, my lad's 5, my daughters are 19 months, and the time is the key thing with wrestling. Then you can, if you're on a show, you can be sort of in the car at 10 in the morning and you don't get back till 12 at night or whatnot, so I'm definitely being more selective with bookings, but Nottingham is it's my doorstep, so and House of Pain, that's I just love it anyway. I love it. My son gets to come along and watch and stuff, so it's definitely plan on doing a lot with House of Pain.
Yeah, well, it seems to be a good scene around there, House of Pain, and what's the one in Mansfield? I can't remember. So Fight Factory. Oh,
good. No, Fight Factory is Lincoln.
Fight Factory.
Fight Factory. But I think they've done the Mansfield venue, done the body slams.
That part of the country just seems to have a lot of good promotions.
Yeah, and even Joe's Elevation, Joe's in Loughborough. So Joe Connors,
yeah, it's great. Yeah, then you can go into you got the Stoke in the Midlands, not too far away. Then you can also go up into York.
Yeah, exactly. So like PW4U is one that I've always just enjoyed working for Phil and
feels a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've just honestly, it's just always been enjoyable. And there's been times when I've cancelled personal stuff to make sure I can do the show, whereas probably if it wasn't for Phil I wouldn't, I'd be like, well, no, I'm just going to have to. But I just enjoy it. I like Phil and I enjoy doing them shows. The fans are always good. The people he gets on the shows are good, so yeah, it's a good one.
So he books Keith Myatt. Did he ever work with you?
Yeah. So Keith's a legend of a guy. Every show we always have a good chat, and he's got a ton of stories. But again, just these good people, and he's given me some posters, like promo posters that have got my dad on and stuff that are in condition. And he's like, because it's and these are his personal stuff, So it's just the respect side of things there, and he's just some of the stuff the stories as well that he's got, And again, it's so humbling to be there and hear these type of things, and then to be sort of working alongside as well. So because obviously he wrestles with his son, right? So with Ryan, so he's essentially the same sort of boat with the second generation side of things, and just an all-round nice guy as well. That's the thing. Yeah,
and he's done amazing. He's managed to adapt his style to his age and stuff now. And
yeah.
He still puts on good matches. So.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm liking the Ryan turning heel and it's becoming Ryan Gold and his stuff. It's really good storyline. It's a lot of fun. Do you have anybody you're looking forward to working with when you come back?
Well, do you know what? House of Pain has gone through. There's a few people that I don't know their person whether they're going to get back to it or not, but there's been a bit of a turnover in wrestlers, which just means there's new people. There's new people to work with. So I'm excited. If there's new up and comers, then I'll be excited to work with them. If there's, again, if circumstances change at any point and I'm not a good guy anymore, then it means I can work with and against people that I haven't worked with in that way before. So not anyone in particular with it, but certainly excited for the potential of new people to work with.
Yeah. Would the Sovereign be back in?
Well, yeah. Do you know what?
Are you still the tag team champions officially? Then?
Well, no, and that's exactly what I was going to say, because we never lost the titles.
Yeah.
Not that I'm bitter, but COVID happened, didn't it? And then the titles were okay, we're going to have a tournament to see who is. So we technically never lost them. So me and
I
Sheik
was gonna say,
still
it still says on the cage match that you've held the title for like 6 years.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I'm sure they got
we've not
new
defended it for 5.5 of those 6 years, but no, but like so that would be the exciting opportunity as well. But at the same time, I know, like Sheik's doing great things with his school and he's doing plenty as well. So yeah, but I do feel like
nothing but good things about Top Rope. It's
yeah. Well, it's again just another top guy, you know, like great guy, and yeah. But even if it's in smaller though, like I'd like to work with him again at PWV in particular and do something with titles that we never lost. So
oh yeah, Sheik's amazing. He's deceptively tall as well. I remember meeting him.
Yeah.
And he was enormous.
Yeah.
Yeah. When my youngest must have been 4. Yeah, he put him on a chair and then it went down to his level to talk to him. It's so good. Yeah, he's so good to the kids as well. But he's such an amazing heel.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah. I never quite. He first got into it when he was like he's a Arab billionaire. I was like, he's an Arab billionaire who's come to work in Brit Refs to make his fortune. Get the logic out the way. Yeah, but it's like,
that's the least of the issues when it comes to wrestling logic. That's the least of it.
Yeah. Cool. Do you want to move on to the creator card bit? Or...
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. You have anything written down? Or are you gonna...
No, I thought I'd freestyle it. I like working on the fly, so as in like with these type of things. So
yeah, cool. Okay. Right. So if you have promoted for a day, promoted an event, so using workers using wrestlers you've worked or trained with, wrestlers associated to you in some way. If I give you a match type, you tell me you put that match.
Yep.
Yeah, and as it's your show, every match can be intergender, 3-way, 4-way, 5-way.
Okay.
Throw a stupid stipulation on things if you want. So.
Yeah.
Cool. So who'll be in your opening contest? Get excited.
The opening match, and it's not got to be. It's just anyone I want to see, or I've got to work.
It's it's people you've worked with. You don't have to be in the match. You just it's just out. Cool. People usually just put over their mates doing this.
Yeah. An opening match. I mean, do you know what? I would have to put in there as an opener. I'll say Gabriel Kidd versus Joe Connors in the singles. Oh, because that would be. Yeah, well, this is the thing. It is a main event on paper, but at the same time, if you're opening, and depending on what sort of show we're talking, but like if we're going, you want to make an impression straight away. Definitely. Then they're going to do it. You know, it's going to be banging. It's going to be hard hitting. It's going to be a bit of a masterclass. Where if there's anyone who's a skeptic, they go, actually, like that one. So yeah, I would happily have them. They'd probably want main, but I'd say opening, like to set the bar high.
Yeah, the only time I've seen Gabriel Kidd live, it was at All Star, and he was teaming with Spider-Man in a tag team match. It's turned out to be RJ Silver dressed as Spider-Man, but I think they're trying to promote. I think they had a trampoline park sponsoring the show, so they had the Spider-Man character as like the mascot of the trampoline park.
Trampolines.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That'll be it. Yeah, I can see that being a technical classic, and they just can't outdo each other, and then they start like just pop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I'd love to watch that match. About a comedy style match?
Comedy style. It'd have to be Paul Malin would have to be in there. Paul Malin is just one of the funniest guys I've ever worked. Like, as in, if I'm in a match with him, I'm just excited. And I just you tell me what to do, because he's always got these great ideas. So maybe like Paul Malin versus the comedy. I might throw a curveball and put someone who's a bit more serious in there, because Paul Malin trying to break someone who's quite serious, you know.
Yeah,
would
you
be-
either
would
go
be-
with two comedy guys or you have a complete straight man with a comedy wrestler. don't you? So-
Yeah. But I'll say that even someone like no, if I really wanted to laugh, like I would have Paul Mayland versus DDA, Diamond Dave Andrews, because
Ooh, yeah.
because he would like. I mean, his funny naturally as well, but I think people would be laughing. So if I wanted guaranteed laughs, that would happen.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Your women's title match?
Women's title match. I'm gonna throw in Harley Harris because
Yes.
from House of Pain largely because she has just come along such a big way over the past few years. She's been there since I started, and but it's like the last, I don't know, 18 months, 2 years, just suddenly has gone like up trajectory in terms of her
Nothing but
ability
good
and
things
stuff.
about her. Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe I'd throw someone like Rio in there, because I think they both enjoy working each other as well. I don't know if they ever have, to be honest, but it would be a good match. So yeah,
Rio's amazing. I say her at TNT a lot. So.
yeah.
Mid card title, so like a workhorse title type thing.
Yeah. I would probably think, do you know what? And again, he's a bit of a staple at House of Pain now. Brad Matthews. Maybe versus. Maybe. I'm trying to think of like. He would have a good match against LJ Heron, and we'll make it a triple threat.
Yeah.
And we'll also add in LJ, Brad Matthews, and maybe Ritmo from you probably might have seen. Yeah, Silly Salmon and all like them three guys would work a good mid card match.
Fun.
Not that, and they're all main event players as well, but they'd be good in that scenario.
Definitely. A hardcore Extreme Rules style match. This can be anything from hardcore straight up to death match.
Yeah, it's got to be Alton Thorne, especially because he's doing like death matches now. But yeah,
he came on the show to try and convince me that I would like death matches, but I still don't.
he tries convincing me I'd like it. He convinces everyone.
Me and my girlfriend went to Extreme Fields for TNT last year, and it was the most scariest experience of her life. Having all this glass flying everywhere, and they were just battering each other. Alton Thorne wasn't in the match, but it was the first death match she's ever seen live. The glass is coming right up to my feet.
He would definitely have to be in it, and then. Who else could we see? I mean, well, maybe if I think more hardcore, I'm putting Kev on a pedestal because he's more deathmatch now, like rather than hardcore. But he's like Mick Foley now, isn't he? He's more of a modern day. That's his sort of thing. But then if it was against someone else who's hardcore, there's a few tough guys out there, I'd like to see in a hardcore match with him, Bam Bam Barton, who. Yes. Yeah, I think then because Bam Bam's a big guy as well, So I feel like, and he's a solid guy, and it would be an interesting match. I think them guys would have worked together multiple times, but maybe not in that scenario.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, cool. Your tag team title match?
Tag team titles. Let's say the Sovereign as a tag team. No, actually, I'm going to keep myself out of that one. I'm saving myself for
the main event.
Yeah, cool. So why not? Tag teams. Do you know what though? Even that, like, there's a lot of angles. I'm gonna have Davey Boy Smith and me versus someone, or like doing the whole second gen. But tag team match. I'm trying to think who are the tag teams I like watching the most now. And this is the thing. There's in the indie side, I don't see as many tag teams that are just like FTR and stuff like this, where they've got that chemistry. But Yeah, maybe even.
A few moments later.
Yeah, so, well,
Act 2? Is that, have you ever
yeah,
watched
do you know what? And Act 2 were the ones I was thinking of PW for you, and from when I've seen them, and I know they do elsewhere as well. Act 2 are good. I've already used DDA, but otherwise I would have said Battle Squad Awesome with him and Danny Chase. But maybe like, because I do feel like Act 2 have got something about themselves.
Oh, they're amazing.
Like,
yeah.
As in they've really got something there, and so maybe like Act 2 versus.
I look forward to seeing them in a couple. I hope they stay together and in a couple of years, and they can do it. Will Ospreay build the bodies up a bit, so have it.
Yeah, and I think they
tag
should.
team stuff there as well.
That's it, and they're young and they've got plenty of time to gel even more. So so like again, they should be on that trajectory for sure, that upwards one. So maybe them versus. I already used Bam Bam because I was going to say they'd have a funny match against him and Marcus Hood from House of Pain.
Yeah,
but I've already used them as well.
A few moments later.
What other PW for you tag team boys? What are the big strong boys called? PW for you, the champs, right?
Synergy. Super athletes, they called it.
Super athletes, yeah, super athletes.
Yeah,
no, those guys are real sound as well. Like those guys,
they're really nice.
Yeah. And to be honest, they've probably worked at too, but I'd still happily put that on a card. Them two.
Yeah, I like. They're two of my favourites.
Big guys as well, strong.
Oh yeah, they're massive. Yeah, deceptively.
Yeah.
Ryan Troy, he's not that tall, but he's probably as wide as he is tall.
Yeah. He's a strong boy. Like he's benching what I deadlift. So.
Yeah, Synergy are a great team. And, yeah. Okay. That's your main event.
Main event, like G-WIZ, obviously. got to sell them glasses.
The sovereign implode.
Yeah. And but Tom Latimer or Bran when I worked him, like just one of them. Well, no, it's categorically my favourite match I've had. And I would throw in there Sticks and make it a triple threat with the three of us because
that'd be fun.
Yeah, and so I speak the same for Sticks as well. Just working with guys like that and people like Joe is just another caliber of like when you're working someone of that level, it really feels it. It really shows. And had a thoroughly enjoyable match with him. We done the whole Fight Factory versus House of Pain, so real good atmosphere in there. And me and Bram main evented that, and I'd like if I could work him every week, I would, and not even what he's doing now. You just watch it, you just think he's top. Like he could easily, he's just world class for my money,
Yeah. So I liked what he's doing in NWA, and I loved Ascension when he was in Ascension as well. It's my favorite.
Like as in even the early promos they done and stuff, and you just think like I think if maybe personal stuff outside of wrestling didn't happen, then he could easily be on the WWE main roster right now. Like I mean, look at him. Like, he's just yeah.
I saw. He worked for who are they called? EPW, like in the town hall I work in. It's one of them shows where there's only about 8 wrestlers on the card, but I'm sure they come out in different costumes and put masks on for some matches.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think I've worked one of them shows. I only did the one match, but
he put a great match with MVK at the end. But my son must have been 10 maybe at the time, and he was convinced he was watching an Impact Wrestling show because Brad was on it. So I was like, okay, if you want to think it's an Impact Wrestling show, you can. That'd be a great card. I'd love to watch that, especially that main event. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd be buzzing with it. So
Yeah. I want to know if Act 2 have face synergy. I want to look that up now because that'll be a fun match. So.
be good, eh?
I want to say that everyone's. What's happened to pro wrestling for you recently? I don't know. But yeah, that's the match I want to look up. So, but God, have you got any upcoming events coming before we go? Or?
No, do you know what? I've not got anything on the immediate horizon. But it doesn't mean it'd be far away either, you know. Like I say, it's not like I've taken a complete hiatus from wrestling or anything in that sense. My fitness is as ready to go as ever. If anything, probably even more so, you know. Other than being ring ready. But yeah, I love it too much to have let that slip, and I'm too stubborn to lose a step in that sense. So it's nothing big on the horizon straight away, but yeah, I'll certainly be back around as soon as.
Yeah, I'm sure doing jiu-jitsu means you'll come back like a bit more flexible, a bit more stronger, and
yeah, mate. That's what I'm planning on. So come back and get all that gold.
Definitely. Cool. Before we go, have you got any social media you want to promote? Or?
Oh man, I mean, I'm. It's not that I'm not big on social media in the sense of I use it and stuff, but it's if people want to find me, they'll find me. G-WIZ, Garrett Bond. You'll find it on all the socials. I'm there. I'm not too active on them. You won't see many controversial posts on Twitter, but but yeah, feel free to give me a follow. Everything's open, so yeah, it's all good, all love.
Cool. I'll put links to all your socials anyway in the description below the interview. So I really enjoyed speaking today. I'd love to have you on again in the future. That was a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, no worries at all. More than happy to. So.